Hi guys, welcome back to the Explorer Academy, The Nebula Secret, written by Trudy Truitt and brought to you by National Geographic Publishing. Today we're going to be reading chapter 20, so we're almost to the end of the book, and we're going to be starting on page 184. So if you have your book, go ahead and join us on page 184, or just enjoy the story. Let's get started. Chapter 20. You were very lucky, said Dr. Ainsley. The laser just grazed you. Laser burns can be very serious, but a laser of this strength? He paused, shaking his head. A few millimeters to the right, and it would have burned a hole right through you. Cruz knew. The emergency room doctor finished dabbing antibiotic cream on Cruz's wound. Okay, you're all set. You'll have some pain and more blistering over the next few days, he explained, washing his hands. The nurse will be in to bandage your arm. Be sure to take it easy, stay hydrated, and get some rest. I will. Dr. Ainsley left the cubicle, flinging the curtain into place behind him. Cruz glanced at his dad, sitting in a chair opposite the bed. Where did Aunt Marisol go? I sent her to pick up your prescriptions and get something to eat. She was looking a little pale. No wonder. With one eye closed, Cruz glanced at the divot in his arm. The shiny white skin that hadn't peeled away in pink strips was beginning to blister anew. The wound was still throbbing, though not as nearly as much as it had an hour ago. Cruz could hardly believe the Academy librarian, the man who was always so friendly and helpful to the explorers, had come so close to killing them. I never would have thought Mr. Rook was capable of this. Anyone is capable of anything, his dad said wearily. Mr. Rook is going to tell Nebula's about Mom's journal, isn't he? Probably, but maybe sitting in that jail cell will give him some time to think about the choices he's made so far and the ones he could make in the future. At least he gave me the journal. Reaching for his back pockets, Cruz let out a shriek. Dad, the journal! It's okay. His dad patted a zippered pocket on the front of his safe. Safe and sound. Cruz clutched his heart. That was a relief. Next to the bed, the blue privacy curtain was swaying. Cruz could make out two figures. Dad! His father jumped up. Who's there? Cruz, are you here? Came a soft Icelandic accent. Brindis? A fair blonde head appeared. The nurse said it wasn't too serious. She let us come back here. Of course, I did tell her we were your cousins. Brenda slid the curtain aside to reveal the other figure. Dr. Hightower? The Academy's president's face was almost as white as her hair. Are you all right, Cruz? We'd heard you'd been shot. Not shot. Cruz was quick to correct her. I got hit by a laser. Peering at Cruz's fried arm, Brenda winced. That's bad enough. The doctor was just in, said Cruz's dad. We should be able to take him home soon. Thank goodness, sighed the Academy president. We got here as quickly as we could. Brindis was with me in my office when we got the news. And funny thing, she let out a small chuckle. We were discussing you, Cruz. Me? Brindis brought something rather interesting to my attention. Dr. Hightower motioned to the girl standing next to her. You want to tell him? With a shy grin that revealed a dimple on each cheek, Brindis flipped a lock of hair behind her ear. When I heard about what happened, Cruz, I knew it had to be a mistake, so I decided to do a little investigating on my own. I went back and looked at the team videos, from our cave missions. Cruz put up a hand. Thanks, but we did that already. So you saw it too? Saw what? Brindis opened up her tablet and brought up a video. This clip is from our butterfly mission when we stopped to rest because Renshaw was having trouble with his asthma. Watch. As Cruz, his dad, and Dr. Hightower circled around her, she hit the arrow to play the video. I'm all right, huffed Henshaw. I just need a second. I have asthma. The altitude can get to me sometimes. My family, we're into sports, so I'm used to it. I've got my inhaler with me if it gets worse. Did you bring water? Cruz heard himself ask. Renshaw shook his head and took the bottle Cruz offered him. Thanks. Renshaw drank some water. You guys can go ahead. I'll catch up with you at the clearing. No, said Cruz. We're going to stay together. Okay, thanks. Brenda stopped the video. Did you hear it? Cruz shook his head. Renshaw told us he'd catch up with us at the clearing. We'd been hiking up a steep trail with nothing but forest around us. How did he know there was a clearing ahead? I don't know, Cruz shrugged. Lucky guess, or maybe his brother told him? That would be a serious violation of cave guidelines, interjected Dr. Hightower. As you know, to prevent anyone from gaining an unfair advantage, explorers are never to discuss missions with anyone outside their teammates or professors. There's more, said Brindis. This one's from our Orion mission. Dr. Benedict said it was a new program and we're the first team ever to do it, remember? This clip is right before we got on the ship. Brindis tapped her screen and the video began to play. Bon voyage, explorers. Professor Benedict faded from view. I hope they have hot chocolate on the ship, said Sailor. It would technically be virtual, Coco. That was Emmett. I've got dibs on Ridley for my news story, said Dugan. I'll take the research lab, said Brindis, if that's okay with anyone else. I think I'll like the observation deck, said Sailor. Good choice, said Renshaw. You'll probably see a lot when we go through the Bering Strait. Brindis paused the clip. Did you catch it? This time Cruz had spotted the error. He gasped. Professor Benedict never told us where the ship was headed. Renshaw couldn't have known we were going through the strait unless... He peeked at the program, finished Brindis with a proud smile. Cruz slapped his head. Didn't it figure the one person he'd picked to try to save him was the very culprit they were after? How could Renshaw have done something so terrible, and to him? Cruz had thought they were friends. He shook his head in disbelief. Cruz's dad turned to the academy president. What happens now? I've already contacted Renshaw's parents. He admitted he'd altered the programs. He said he had nothing against you, Cruz, that he used your tablet because it was the easiest to gain access to. Something about getting around our security protocols to plant a virus in your tablet when you emailed him some of your class notes. Of course, said Cruz, remembering, the dancing chipmunk. Everyone was looking at him oddly. Anyway, said Dr. Hightower, the virus allowed him to use your IP address to hack into the cave server. He said he was sure no one would ever discover the hack and you'd never get in trouble. But of course, this is the academy, and we did notice. It was the virus that caused the flickers that our faculty and techs found. When they went in to try and fix the problem, they discovered that he, had done. Cruz's disbelief was slowly turning to anger. Renshaw had to know that someone sometime would discover the hack and that Cruz would take the blame for it, hadn't he? Maybe he hadn't. Maybe he didn't care. She wrung her hands. Renshaw is an exceptionally intelligent student. Sadly, he chose not to use his brilliance in a manner befitting Explorer Academy. He has been expelled. I had just sent for Brindis and was telling her all of this when we heard about Rook at the library. I don't get it, said Cruz. Renshaw didn't need to cheat. He was doing well in school. Brindis bit her lip. Maybe really well isn't good enough when your brother is a North Star Award winner. Or you're a perfectionist, mumbled Cruz, remembering Emmett's warning. Emmett! Oh, man, did he owe Emmett an apology the size of Mount Everest? His roommate hadn't cheated at all. Somehow in his heart, Cruz had always known Emmett couldn't have done it. He should have listened to his heart instead of his head. Dr. Hightower was clearing her throat. Cruz, with the board's unanimous support, I'm pleased to tell you that you are hereby reinstated at Explorer Academy with all the traces of this entire incident to be permanently wiped from your record. I'd also like to extend my sincere apology for unjustly accusing and judging you. Cruz didn't know what to say. He certainly hadn't expected this. Thanks, Dr. Hightower. If you're feeling well enough and your father will allow you to return, you may board Orion with your classmates on Monday, said Dr. Hightower. Monday? I'm ready to come back to the academy right now, Dr. Hightower, he blurted. Hold on, son, his father stepped in. The doctor recommends a few days' rest. He looked at Dr. Hightower. Also, before I can give permission for Cruz to return, I need to speak with you about the situation that happened today and what it means for Cruz. Naturally, the safety of all of our explorers is our top priority. The nurse came in to dress Cruz's wound. His dad, Dr. Hightower, and Brindis left the cubicle to give them privacy. Your burn is already looking better, said the nurse. Cruz had to admit the pain had decreased. It now felt like a wasp sting. The nurse carefully placed a large bandage over the wound. Keep this on for a couple of days and let us know if your pain gets worse. The wound changes color or if you run a fever. She helped him get into the shirt his dad had dug out of his luggage. There you are, all ready for your girlfriend. Did she mean Brindis? Cruz felt his face flush. She's not my girlfriend. No, too bad she's awfully cute and she certainly has eyes for you. Brindis, a crush on him? He doubted it. She was cute and smart and funny, but they were just teammates, just friends. Weren't they? Thanks for listening. Next time we'll jump in with Chapter 21.